What is up, y'all? I'm Cole Wright, your host of the Three Wiggle Golf Show, where we talk shop, always go for it in two, and never, ever even think about three putting. First, thank y'all for being here. If this is your first show, we release a new episode every Monday. That is our weekly wrap, where we talk about the previous week in professional golf, who won, who lost, who's trending, and then we give our expert picks as to who we think is going to find themselves in the winner's circle. Along with that, we'll have some guests on the show a couple times a month to talk about their life, business, and love for the links. And without further ado, we're going to get into this episode of our weekly wrap, where we talk about a one Brian Campbell, the journeyman, who, beyond all odds and beyond about smoking one out of bounds on the second playoff hole, got a little grace from the golf gods, and he took advantage and stuffed the wedge to 3.5 feet to clinch his first whatever, man. Life-changing stuff.
Yeah, gotta be. That kind of defines golf right there, right? I mean, he hits a shot that has every right to be out of bounds, and Potgieter smokes one down the fairway, hits a beauty of an approach shot. I mean, if that ball goes a yard further, it's cozying up for a pretty good looking eagle.
Inside 10 feet, I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, and the other guy gets a good kick out of the tree. It's a great wedge shot. He doesn't catch necessarily the best lie in the bunker, doesn't hit the greatest bunker shot. It comes away with par, and the guy that, could have been hitting three off the tee, makes a birdie. That's just golf right there.
Absolutely. Well, everybody that wins on the PGA Tour, or Korn Ferry Tour for that matter, or big championships game, big championship games across sports landscapes, dude, they all attest that while you gotta play great, there's luck involved in it. You have to have some things go your way. And so, dude, it damn near brought me to tears, man, because you could see his wife's reaction after he rolled that putt in, and just what that does for his career. I mean, at 31 years old, dude, or maybe 32.
Yeah. I mean, just kind of,
he could very easily this could have just been another close call, and then he never wins, that's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think for him, just like at the end of the day, like being able to look back and say, I gotta win on the PGA Tour, because I'm sure being on Korn Ferry and PGA Tour, and he's had some close calls in the past, gotten second multiple times. He's probably not doing terrible on funds, right? I mean, he's probably doing okay, but just being able to say, like, put that cap on your career, like, I gotta win. I did it, and now all the opportunities it's going to open up for him, getting to play in these signature events, play on, I'm sure he'll play in the Players Championship now.
Yeah, he'll get in, majors. He'll get into some majors, FedEx Cup points. He's going to have PGA Tour exemption for the next 3 years. Like, he doesn't have to play Korn Ferry Tour for the next 3 years,
Absolutely. Speaking of that, PGA Tour no longer doing Monday qualifiers from what I've gathered. I think the tour itself, PGA Tour, is like doing away with Monday qualifiers. Korn Ferry Tour, I believe, still is, but the PGA Tour no longer.
Are they starting that? Are they starting that next season? Because they've already got them all listed for this year.
Maybe it is for next season.
Or is it for, maybe they're just cutting back on something, because I don't know. I think we talked about it. So I know they're doing away with the waste management Monday qualifier.
Yeah, no longer doing that one.
But you thought you read somewhere that they're
maybe
just
it's just for signature events.
Okay. That would make sense.
It's just what I've heard, I guess, on some other podcasts and stuff like that, some mumblings where, like that guy at the Waste Management there a couple weeks ago, he played with
top
Scotty.
5. Yeah.
And, he beat him by 3 aside.
You're right.
We're no longer going to get to see that. So, I was curious your thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, first and foremost is figure out is it all the events? Like, if we're talking hypothetically and they are cutting all of the events for Monday qualifying, then it kind of sucks, man, because there's plenty of guys that I mean, Monday qualify, like I looked up the stats. It's like just shy of 40% of the guys that Monday qualify make the cut to play the weekend. So you never know what that experience and that breakthrough does for a guy's confidence and potentially propels their game to another level, because you make the cut. And if you finish, it depends week to week, but like if you finish top 25, now you'll get an exemption into the next week to not have to Monday qualify, on that tour. And if it's partially like you're talking about, if it's like they just cut the signature events, that kind of makes sense. I mean, dude, it's a lot of organizing, and you have to get volunteers involved to manage these events, these Monday qualifiers week in, week out. So like, it's kind of a lot. It doesn't surprise me if they are doing that, because like they're already cutting back tour cards now from 125 to 100 per year, which, I mean, that's fucking stupid if you ask me. Like, now you're making it even more difficult for the entire population of professional golfers to play on a professional tour, like,
sure.
Yeah, I'm curious to know. After we get off here, I'll do a little research and see what the deal is on that.
I'd like to see a little bit more of what it actually is. It's kind of one of those things that you can't necessarily, you want to have it both ways, but that's not necessarily super realistic, right? Whenever there's more guys, it's going to make the game a little bit slower, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's, it's a bigger field, there was some talk of maybe just cutting it down for the weekend to be,
make the week, like cut, instead of cutting the field in half, cut it by like 70% or something.
Exactly. Yeah. And maybe that makes the weekend a lot more enjoyable to watch, probably faster. Smiley Kaufman was saying on his podcast how, I mean, if you look at his stats on his Saturday and Sunday performances versus Friday or Thursday, Friday, his Saturday, Sunday was always way better because field's cut in half, so they got to play that much faster and he could get in a rhythm. So, I'm not one that's just beating down the door on, we got to get these guys to play faster. It's the PGA Tour. These guys are playing for a lot of money. There's a lot of factors in golf. You got wind, you got lie, you got, circumstances, just nerves. Some guys, they're just going through a lot of demons in their head that keeps them from being able to pull it back. But I also, I want to see guys get opportunities as well. So it's tough to have it both ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I see. Like, I understand what you're saying. And then on the other side of that coin is like the entertainment aspect. Like, it is a product,
for sure.
Right? It is a product. And so that product is based around viewership. And if the majority of the viewer, I don't know if it's majority, and you don't, and I don't know if there's not a way to measure that, but like, let's say that half of the viewers are bitching about pace of play. Well, that's enough to create a change, right? Now, if they're looking at it and it's like, no, it's like 15% of the people are complaining about pace of play, and then the other 85% are avid golf fans that it doesn't really matter. Like, I think the pace of play should be, like expedited considerably, just because it makes it more of a sport. Like, you put a shot clock on the guys, but at the same time, even if the rounds were 5.5 hours every round, I'm still watching it because I'm an avid golf fan, right? So like, that's the side of it. It is.
I like the idea of making it, cutting more guys out. I think
for the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Give more people an opportunity on the front end, and then on the weekend, whenever you got these TV companies paying all this money to show the product, let's cut the field down and let's give everyone a little bit better product. And if we cut it down to less players, let's try and show all these guys.
100%.
I want to see all the guys hit shots, not just the top two groups. Top two or three groups.
Say you cut it from 75 guys on the weekend to 50. There's no reason you can't show every golf shot for all 50 guys when they're teeing off, 12 minutes apart. Like, you should be able to do that, My thing is, the reason I've always been such a proponent of just implement a shot clock system, have a group, like have somebody that just like you have a stupid sign holder that tells the group's score, you can have somebody out there with a legitimate shot clock that the minute that the groups leave the greens, you base it on an honor system, you start the clock and they get 40 seconds or whatever it is to pull the trigger. And yeah, it forces, in the short term, it's going to make guys really uncomfortable, and they're going to have to adapt. And yeah, because there are these extra factors like wind and potentially rain and slope and lie and cut of grass, yes, it's going to reduce scores in the short term, but so what? Like it's that's kind of where my head's at. So like, I would love to see a shot clock system implemented. I feel like that's the easiest way to do it.
The only thing that can be controversial about the shot clock is, like, Smiley was saying on his podcast, he was following along with the group the other day, and they had a guy with them that was, kind of testing out what the shot clock would look like. And so Smiley goes over to the guy, and, one guy just did, and he goes over, and they're kind of like walking up to the ball still. And he's like, hey, so, I mean, it looks like JT is out right now. When do you deem that you're starting the shot clock? Is it as soon as the other guy's ball stops? Is it as soon as they're able to address their ball? And the guy's like, well, it's kind of a feel thing. I'm like, well, that has to be more of a solid, like
a black and white answer. Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta have, it can't be something that's just subject to an individual's own little judgment.
to what each group thinks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my thing would be is the minute the ball, like, okay, so you wait until the group is off the green, right? You start the shot clock for whoever, because here's the thing.
Whoever's out.
Whoever's out is going to be decided upon before the group is off the green. Right? So the guys get off the green, whoever's deemed out, clock starts, 45 seconds, they hit their shot. The minute the ball is in the air, other guy's shot clock starts. Like,
yeah,
45 seconds is more than enough time for that ball to get to the green and stop for the other person to then swing. Even if you hit driver, the ball's hang time is probably what? If you're nuking it in the air, maybe 6 seconds, maybe.
Probably something like that. I guess I've never even measured that.
But I'm just guessing. It's definitely not 10.
Yeah.
It's not 10 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So like, in response to what you're saying, I guess that would be my first rebuttal. But yeah, dude, I mean, it's interesting, and how much of the fan base cares about the pace of play, ultimately is, I think, what's important.
It's been something that everyone's been, beating the drum to this year. It seems like I've never been one that's like, oh, man, that's miserably slow to watch. And then I've found myself, Aaron Rye, I was kicking myself all weekend, because whenever I was, getting ready for our episode last weekend, I was looking at who was playing this week, and Aaron Rye was one of the first names that came up, and I was looking at it, and I was like, well, I can't go with the first guy that I see right here.
Yeah.
And he, sure enough, the guy, plays really well this week. His shipping and putting just kind of escaped him today. I mean, he, made like 50 feet scrambles at like a, 33% clip. He's like winning this tournament today.
He was that low? I mean, because average scrambling on tour is, right around 50%. So like,
oh, he was
that bad this week?
I don't think
that he was below 30%.
Well,
that's
today.
Incredible. Oh, today he was. Oh yeah. Yeah.
He was like 0 for 4 or 5 on the back nine today. I mean, that's tough on the PGA Tour. It's tough.
I ain't gonna get it done.
It was a fun tournament, though.
It was, man, and I was glad that it was a barn burner coming down the stretch, because despite it not being a loaded field, with all stars, it was good. It was a good
storylines. Yeah,
it was good storylines. Yeah, dude, let's talk about that kid, man. You want to talk
Dude,
about somebody who absolutely rips the cover off the ball,
hammers
dude?
it.
He crushes it, dude.
Dude, he hammers it, and it
And he
doesn't
hits
really
it,
look.
and he hits it straight. Like
Yeah,
he
just
doesn't
little
move it a whole
peel
lot, you know?
cuts, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he rips the cover off of it. I was just thinking, like, I don't know. I would be curious to ask like a touring professional that's won a lot. Like, is for a kid like that, he's 20 years old and he's been in the final pairing twice now already
Yeah,
in
right.
tournaments.
Yeah.
Is maybe looking into like in maybe one of these really experienced caddies that's won a few times, hooking him up with a guy like that.
Yeah.
Does that send that guy over the top where, he starts finishing the deal, when he gets in these final two or the final pairing, or is it just, repetition? I mean,
Yeah.
he's won a lot already, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
the guy is
he's
a junior
won a
phenomenon.
ton as an amateur, as a junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible resume. So I'm just curious what a lot
That's a
of
really
guys
good
would
point.
say
Yeah,
as
that's a
far
really
as
good
that,
point. I think you're right. I mean, honestly, dude, like just as an example, that on the his last putt, that 6-footer, I'm sure you're listening to the commentary, but like he was telling the guy that like it was gonna break right. And he'd already hit that putt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like relatively, not exactly that line, but from a few feet to the right. So he knows that putt falls to the left.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that was just a misread. So that was just poor judgment on the caddy's behalf. But um, I don't know. I don't know anything about that caddy. I don't know. Has he been on the bag for anybody? Like any of
I
the
don't
other
know
good South
anything about the
Africans?
caddy.
You don't
No,
have a
wasn't
clue?
a shot at him. It's just,
No. I know.
yeah,
But it's a really good point. I mean, as an example, like Bones called it. Bones called
yeah.
the putt perfectly, right? So you get a guy like Bones who's been
That's
on the
exactly what I was
bag
thinking.
with a
Yeah.
gazillion wins, right? So, no, that's a good point. It was really like his ball striking is elite. That's that dude's saving grace, but his short game is far from where it needs to be to play consistently at the highest level. You can see that with the chip shots and pitches, and his bunker play all week was bad.
Absolutely. Well, that's right. I mean, he shot 20 under, um, but he only played the par fives like 5 under for the tournament. And for
Really,
being the longest guy out there, like
that's bad.
that's not very good,
That's
really,
bad. Yeah.
for someone that's as long as he is and hits it as straight as he does. And I don't know, maybe this is because I just put a 5-wood in the bag and I love my 5-wood, but I mean,
Yeah.
he's one of those guys. I don't know if you noticed, but he goes driver to 2-iron. He has
I saw that.
one head cover in the bag other than the putter head cover, if you want to call it that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a one head cover guy. So I'm just curious if maybe like maybe give yourself a little bit more room for error with something like a 4-wood, a 5-wood, a 7-wood. I mean, 7-wood's that's the hot thing on tour right now. I mean,
Yeah. A couple of years
everyone that
ago,
hits those
that
things.
came out, and Adam Scott was the first like really big proponent of it. And then now there's a lot of guys
Mm-hmm.
playing it. Let's talk about that. That 7-wood Brian Campbell hit on I think it was 15 or 16, that par 3 over water, bro. That thing was
Phenomenal.
on a string. Like that was some balls to hit that shot. I mean, it sucked he didn't make the putt, but like still.
Mm-hmm. It was a fun little story too, with those two guys kind of battling out down the stretch.
Well, just
I mean,
such
you got
different
polar
stories.
opposite games, right?
Exactly.
You got one guy that hammers it, and then the other guy
192 ball speed to 165 ball speed.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably getting outdriven by 3-woods by most other players on tour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a shot at him; it's just the fact.
Truth.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
truth. Yeah.
He's still a very good player. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's a PGA Tour winner. So
Yeah.
it was kind of cool to see that today.
Yeah.
Neither of them necessarily like went and got it from the other today. I mean, both of them had plenty of opportunities to kind of take the tournament, and neither of them really did it. But it made for fun. I mean, I love a playoff in golf. That's one of my favorite things to watch.
Yeah, me too.
So I was absolutely fine with it.
Yeah, it was great. No, it made it, I mean, it was as exciting of an event with a not like stacked field that you can get,
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing. The golf course, Dante, I haven't really,
Yeah.
read up much on it or seen it much, but I mean, it produced a very good golf tournament. There was plenty of par fours that guys could get to, par fives that were, somewhat reachable. It seemed just like a pretty fair golf course that, could punish you at times, but was also, I mean, 20 under, it's just kind of like a new norm on the PGA Tour. So I guess I'm kind of all right with it. I would, I would rather see, 10, 11 under be winning the golf tournament. But, I thought it produced a darn good tournament. It was fun to watch this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, on to next week. We got the Cognizant, previously the Honda Classic. Really great golf tournament, and in the year to start the Florida swing, down at PGA National, which is an incredible golf course. So I'm going to go with because I wanted to go with him this last week, but I found out after the late research he wasn't in the field. Daniel Berger. I feel good about it. Florida State guy, so he's accustomed to playing Florida golf, and he's, after coming back from his injury, he's been playing fair, or even maybe a little better than fair, I would say. So I'll go with Daniel. And then you suggested right before we got on here that we do an alternate in the event that one of our guys, withdraws, because we ran into that last week. So
let me pick my guy first.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm going to go with an aura pick, something I don't normally do. Guy just signed with Nike this week. I mean, if he makes the cut, he's got a PGA Tour card and a PGA Tour U.
Oh.
Same college as your pick, actually.
Oh, Mr. Clanton.
Mr. Luke Clanton. Yeah,
Mr. Clanton.
Yeah.
Did you say if he makes the cut, he'll get a tour card?
If he makes the cut, he's got tour. Yeah, he's got enough points for a PGA Tour card.
Holy smokes, that's huge. Good for him.
And he just made this. I mean, they just put the promo out with him signing with Nike.
I hadn't seen
that. Yeah. So all the aura, everything's written in the stars for him to come out and have a big week this week.
He's off to an incredible start in his PGA Tour events career so far, anyways. So you expect good things out of the kid. He's got swagger, man. He does his
He's
thing,
one of those guys that he's a competitor, like
big time.
No matter what I'm playing, if I could be playing against you and ping pong, I want that guy on my team.
Yeah, right.
I want the most competitive guy on my team. He's one of those guys, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. Good pick. Okay. Well, we're going 2 Florida State guys. We're going the alum versus the.
As much as I hate that. Go Gators.
Yeah, that's right. Chomp chomp. Okay. So from the alternate perspective, I'm going to go with a one Sticky Ricky Fowler.
Okay. My first alternate, and I was really thinking I would pick this guy as my main guy, but I had to go with the aura pick. Guys played pretty well in this tournament. Shane Lowry.
Yeah.
He's Florida
another guy
now.
that plays good in Florida. Well, he lives in Jupiter, and so I mean
So going with Shane Lowry. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm excited, dude. I mean, PGA National is a tough golf course. The winning score has been in single digits under par multiple times. So we'll see how it goes. Dude, here in Missouri, let's talk about the weather. You sent me a snap today, dude. I mean, it melted off like pretty much all the snow here in Boonville today. I'm excited. I feel like it's the things are turning for the better. We're going to be able to get on the golf course soon.
Is MCC like most country clubs enclosed on Mondays? Or CCC?
You mean CCC?
Yeah, CCC. Sorry. Yeah. So same here, but it's kind of like, man, tomorrow's going to be super warm. Let's get the rest of this melted off. So come Tuesday,
that's right.
we're open.
Yeah. I went to you saw in my story, I went to that simulator yesterday down in Lynn, Missouri, and it was really nice. And dude, it was so cheap. It was for 3 hours. It was $30.
Wow.
So cheap.
And there was four of you there? Or
4 of
how
us. So it
many?
was 30 guys a pop. 30 guys. Yeah, man. Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
But anyways, so that group of guys, the better than most guy, obviously, Brecken, he was on the podcast, but the other 2 guys I'd never met. They were really nice. And anyways, we're playing next Saturday at CCC, assuming that they're going to open up the course. We were supposed to play a couple weeks ago when it was really nice, but they had a bunch of people book tee times, and then they canceled them all, and were like, the course is too wet to have people going out there tearing it up. So it's like, okay, that's fair. So I'm hoping between today, tomorrow, and the rest of the days this week being in the 50s and high 50s that it'll dry it up enough.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, do you guys have? I'm sure that you guys have cart paths all over out there, right?
Yeah. Concrete cart paths, and so they could do cart path. They could do cart path only, no problem. But even still, whatever. Are you gonna try to get out and play this week, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get out every day I can if it's open. I'll be out there. I think this weekend I'll probably take the little one out with me on Saturday.
Nice.
And then I'm planning on playing Friday at some point in time as well. So hopefully it's open. We have to have our new members little dinner Wednesday night, so
that's
it'd be cool if it's open
they do that.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how many new members there are? Any idea? Like, are you expecting like it to be like 10 people, show up for the dinner, or maybe like 30? Or
I know of like 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the crew that like a big haul from Tiffany, right?
There's quite a few from Tiffany. Yeah.
That's got to be stingy.
That deal fell through this week too. They were going to sell to
Tiffany was?
Yeah, they were going to sell to a different company, which everyone was pretty much hoping for, right? I mean, it's something different was very welcome.
Yeah.
And deal fell through. I don't know why it fell through, but it fell through. So,
yikes. Well, damn. Yeah, they need different management. They need to get
the staff is fine. I would maybe argue maintenance staff could do some work, but
that's all I was talking about is the maintenance staff. The greens need to be in better. It's too nice of a layout and a potential for a golf course to be in the condition that it is 90% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it has all the bones to be phenomenal. I mean, the clubhouse is a cool look to it. It needs to be redone. Probably it's just old. There's definitely some extenuating things that probably need to be fixed in the clubhouse, but it's cool enough. It's got the pub where you can see plenty of guys. The range has all the potential to be a really good range if we just throw some Zoysia grass on the range.
Yeah, they just need to resod that entire thing.
And then, I mean, there's 4 separate chipping five separate chipping short game areas out there.
At Tiffany?
Yeah.
I thought there was just the 2. The one down at the bottom by the range and then the one by the clubhouse?
No, there's more. There's 3 just over the hill. Like if you're coming from the pro shop and if you turn to your right, you'll see there's a putting clock right there. On down the hill, there's a little chipping area. And then on over to the right, they have a hole that's like 18A. Because when they originally built the course, it was supposed to be 36 holes. And 18A got built. It's got a green, but no tee box, but it has a full fairway of Zoysia grass. It's well kept. I prefer to actually go there a lot of times when I'm practicing because I just, especially if I've got Elle with me, I can go out there and she can run around and do whatever while I chip.
That is insane. I've played out at Tiffany so many times. I had no idea those were out there.
Yeah,
but it makes sense because you can't see it. You can't ever see them from traveling the golf course, in a cart.
Yeah.
And so good to know. Next time I'm out there, I'm gonna go check it out. But
yeah, there's plenty of area to practice. It could be an elite golf course. I mean, there's no reason it couldn't be one of the best in the city.
Yeah, it needs to be. It needs to be shoal category. You know what I mean? It needs to be in the same space as Shoal Creek, because
Yeah, I mean I would say
not far from it.
It's got far more potential than Shoal, in my opinion.
Definitely.
I mean, facilities, short game facilities, land. It's got far more potential. It's got more potential than, where I just moved to than Staley. But
really, yeah,
they're just not getting the potential out of it.
Yeah. At Staley, do they do they just put the balls out on the range for members? So when you just show up on the course on a day, you can just go out there and they're out there. That's nice. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Well, maybe I'm assuming the range will be open this week for you then, even if the golf course isn't, because they have the mats out there.
I doubt it though, because I guess the range is kind of like a bowl out there, and so it gets
soft,
super wet.
Plug balls.
They lose the ball by opening it. So we'll see. I'm hoping maybe by the weekend that the range is open. Right. I'd be fine with just being able to go play some holes, see some ball fights, work on some short game while I'm out there.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to go play Staley. So this upcoming weekend is no good, and the following weekend is no good. But maybe we could tentatively plan for that third weekend in March.
Yeah.
Weather will likely be good by then. Can't imagine it'll be closed, a week before April. So.
Third weekend in March, I will probably have a newborn. So that
shit.
Probably won't work.
That's right. Okay. I didn't even think about that. Okay. Well, that's a little more important. You could get out for 9, a quick 9.
Yeah. Maybe if
you'll be divorced by the time you get home, but it'll be all right.
Yeah. Maybe the fam will want to get out of the house for 9 holes shortly after the little one's born. We did get out went out and played 9 a couple times actually in my week off after Ella was born. So we'll see what that's like with 4 of us.
Yeah.
Trying to get out there.
Yeah. Well, TBD. TBD. All right, man. That's a wrap, folks, for this week's weekly wrap. Make sure you guys share the show at 3 Wiggle Golf Go, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. And like I said, share the show, leave a review, and we'll see you next week. Peace, brother.
Dig the hat, dude.
Thanks, man. You too. I like the Puma outfit.